Well, and you know, for me to have Ramblin' Jack, I already had Christopherson in the Jimmie Rodgers project, and it was, oh my, just, I mean, you know, that's another story itself. But I knew having Ramblin' Jack and having those guys together, and I still really didn't have yet any footy, because see, in 1959, Ramblin' Jack Elliott did a tribute, released it over in Europe. He did a tribute album. One side of the album was to Jimmie Rodgers, and the other side was Woody Guthrie. See, that's two hugely historic characters. In fact, those are fathers of country and father of folk music. Bob Dylan, you know, Ramblin' Jack. So that the history of that, and having that, you know, to be able to be with Ramblin' Jack, and I wanted to talk to him some about why he did that album and his own life with Jimmie Rodgers. And it was very similar in some instances. Ramblin' Jack ran away when he was a young boy, a teenager. He ran away with a kind of like a Wild West show, a circus. And Jimmie, when he was 13, ran away with a medicine show. Because in the beginning, so just that history of Ramblin' Jack, having done a tribute album, and the tie between even Jimmie and Woody in time, because on the timeline, the folk started growing. Jimmie was taking even part of what folk was and brought it into the music of the South, the blues into it. So Ramblin' Jack, to bring him into the story, which, you know, because of Merle Haggard having done a tribute album, and Gene Autry did a tribute album, Lefty Frizzell did a 1951 did a tribute to Jimmie Rodgers. Lefty Frizzell, at the time, he inspired Elvis Presley. The long sideburn, the fringe on the coats. Lefty was like the honky-tonk hero, the only entertainer still in history that had 4 singles in the top 10 of Billboard at the same time. So that lineage of those guys doing tributes, and Ramblin' Jack being in that. And then Ramblin' Jack's, Dylan even said that, and Ramblin' Jack read the words Bob Dylan on the plane, and kind of felt like, because Bob Dylan, because story goes, he got a Ramblin' Jack album, and from a friend, stole it, took it that night home, and it was a Ramblin' Jack album. The next day, he had a whole new guitar picking style. Bob Dylan changed it to that Merle Travis finger picking thing. And Ramblin' Jack, Dylan said, did Woody Guthrie, emulated him so good, because all Bob Dylan sang was Woody Guthrie. And Bob Dylan did a tribute album to Jimmie Rodgers, okay? So Jimmie, Woody, Bob, and Ramblin' Jack. Dylan heard Ramblin' Jack sing Woody Guthrie and said, well, that's it. I'll never emulate Woody Guthrie that good. I've got to start singing my own stuff. So Bob Dylan began to sing Bob Dylan's song with that influence coming from Ramblin' Jack. So that's a hugely important stella or point in time, or a dot to connect. So, and which for me has been a lot of the passion and the interest, and what's driven me as much. It's like treasure hunting, or just being a gold miner of information or something.
Excellent.